Oh no. What have I done?
Mass Mikey Gaming.
Hey gamers, and welcome to this week's edition of Shit I'll Probably Never Play, the show where I'll give you my gaming pickups of the week and just have a little bit of a chat about the games. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and give a comment below. Share it amongst your friends if you like, because if it's maybe not your thing, it might be somebody else's thing, you never know. Pay it forward, as I always say. So this week I actually went out and got myself a 4K TV. So I've been playing around with that. Look, it looks phenomenal. I'm not gonna say that it's not, because it actually does. There's a lot of settings that I'm sort of playing around with to get the best out of it. But the top of the range Samsung 95 KS 9500, and it just looks magnificent. I've been playing Forza on there, and it looks beautiful as anything. My only gripe with the TV is that it doesn't have a VGA cable, so I can't plug in my Dreamcast to play via the VGA cable. But obviously, I'll just move that into the gaming room when it is around. But what you've come for is what I've picked up this week. Now, as you saw in the opening intro, there is a lot. I got some really good deals this week. So it looks a lot more expensive than what it was, but rest assured it wasn't. First off, I got a game that I wasn't really looking for. It was called Tee Off Golf on the Dreamcast. Just really trying to work on my Dreamcast and my Gamecube collection at the moment. It's just becoming more and more apparent that these things are doomed to just have these broken cases at the moment. Picked this one up cheap at Cash Converters for $15. Shout out to my friend Sunny, who lets me know when they do get new games. So I actually haven't had a chance to play this game because it isn't VGA compatible, so I just actually have to switch around the VGA for the old AV cables to be able to play it. Because you can't play it through via VGA if it's not VGA compatible, and there's only very much a handful of games. Golf games are always fun. I rather enjoy them. It looks like it's very cartoon style, much like the PlayStation style of games. Next up, I got an old favourite of mine, Urban Chaos on the Dreamcast. Now, I don't think that this is VGA compatible either, but I did actually previously own this game on the PlayStation, and I remember this was one of the first. Oh, yeah, see, it's another broken. This one's just full on broken. I got this on the PlayStation 1 back in the day, and this game was just really like when you first saw GTA 3. That's how I felt about this. It was an open world game. It was a detective game. There was really cool characters and whatnot in it, because you can play as the two characters, and it felt open world, but you just go to sections. But for a game that is as old as this, it was actually really good. So I was really glad I got that one on the cheap too. I got that as an add-on to my finally getting my must-have game, and it is Power Stone on the Dreamcast. Now, I've been trying to find this for a long time, trying to get a good price on it. I actually got this for $20. It's a platform fighter, but it's really open in the sense that it's when 3D fighting games sort of took off. So it's more of a battle arena sort of thing. So when I first got my Dreamcast, this is one of the first ones that I sort of saw and I thought, that one actually looks really cool. Apparently Power Stone 2 is really good, but they are really pricey out there. And again, I was 0 for 3 this week with proper cases. This one's just got a small crack on the back, but for the $20 that I ended up getting it for, the game's in good nick, even though it's got the Blockbuster sticker on it. Why don't people, when they get these games, take the stickers off? If you're a collector or whatnot, unless you're a reseller, take it off, please. It's just really annoying because, this MA sticker, the M sticker, that's fine. I can live with that. I tried to get it off, it didn't come. But if you look back on the Urban Chaos one, I don't know if you guys can see it. There was a sticker there that obviously lived there for 15, 20 years. And you use eucalyptus oil to get it off, or tea tree oil. And it works really well, but sometimes it'll actually smudge, and that's then really hard to get off, so that's just going to take some work to get on. Next up on the PlayStation 2, I got a game that I've been eyeing up for a while, and obviously as I've been injured for the last couple of weeks, I've just been sitting there on eBay and I haven't been spending money, so I finally grabbed it. And it was Death by Degrees. Now, Death by Degrees is one of the characters, Nina Williams, from the Tekken series, in an actual single-player game. Now, I honestly don't know that much about this game. I've checked up reviews and whatnot. And it looks really cool. It looks like a sort of hand-to-hand sort of James Bond style game, like all the James Bond games back in the day when there was like everything or nothing and whatnot, where it took the third person. And it looks like it's got a lot of different sort of modes. Like you can shoot, there's gunning, like they don't rely on that much. It's more hand-to-hand and hand weapons like swords and whatnot. But there's this actually really interesting feature there where you can actually target where you hit people. And the actual control scheme is very much like Too Human. I don't know if any of you played that, but that's actually one of my favourite Xbox 360 games. Your actual attacks are done with the right stick, so you aim and push that way, so like you might double tap and that does a different move. So it's actually really cool. I think they actually incorporated some of this sort of game into, I think it was Tekken 4 or Tekken 5 with the single player mode where you sort of go around. So I'm actually looking forward to this. I think I will actually play that game because from what I've seen about it, it actually looks really good. And next up, I got a couple of Gamecube games. Nothing really special. It's just Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. It's becoming really hard to find these on the Xbox, which I probably would have preferred them on, that aren't in classics. So I got the originals here of 3 and 4. I'm pretty sure 3 is one of the best in the series, from memory. I did play them all, but I never really finished. I was not the best at them, but I really do want to collect all of them because I really do love them, except for number 5, which I don't have, and I think I'll only ever get unless I see it sitting there for $5. But yeah, these are in good nick. Unfortunately, they aren't in actual original covers. They're actually CD covers on the inside, not the actual GameCube ones. Now, the rest of my collection this week, from what I can tell, is all original Xbox games. So I actually got the local cash converters that I go to. They got a bunch there. I went there on the Friday, and this is when I was still, the Sunday, and this is when I was still hopping along. I saw them all, I'm like, yes, they've got a couple there, like $5, $7 each. Too easy. Walked up to the counter, it's not supposed to be for sale yet. And I'm like, like when do they go on sale? And they're like, tomorrow. And I'm like, look, I catch the bus back past this place, but I'm a bit sort of crippled in the knee at the moment. It's going to be really inconvenient for me to get off of the bus, walk over to you guys, then go back to the bus and wait for the bus and then go home and obviously do my daily show. But they unfortunately can't budge. Obviously there's policies to when they buy things that they've got to hold them in case of police reports and whatnot. So they held on to it. I went back and I ended up getting it. It worked out fine. I got a lift and whatnot, so there wasn't too much problems. So, but then I ordered a crap load of games off of someone off Facebook, off one of the groups, and I got a really good deal on a bunch of games. Unfortunately, I'm going to start off with a couple of the doubles that I got this week. One of them wasn't intended, but one of them was. So I actually picked up Ninja Gaiden. I've already got this. I forgot all about it, but I got this off the Facebook one, so I probably could have saved some money there. But the price that I got them at was really good. I actually managed to talk it down a bit. And the next one was the one that I got from Cash Converters. It was 8. Now, was it 13? Yes, it's 13. You dumbass, Michael. This one is a really beautifully cel-shaded game. The reason I actually bought it was because the case was in such really good condition, where the one that I actually got is a bit nicked and whatnot. So I'll probably look at which one's got the best quality disc, and I'll put it in here, and then I'll try and off the next one. Next up is a game that I originally bought back in the day. Bought actually quite a big, I remember because I bought a lot of these games from Harvey Norman on interest free and whatnot. Sudeki. Now, this is a really underrated RPG game. It's very much sort of Fable style. There's 4 characters to play from, And I remember when I first played it, I was loving it and absolutely loving it. But the unfortunate thing to when you buy a crap load of games, you sort of play one and for a bit and you play it and then you're like, okay, let's try the next one, and then you go to the next one, and then you don't end up playing anything, and that is my issue. I buy all these games and I just don't. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll go back to that. No, I just want to try that, and then I never go back, and that is how the pile of shame happens. But Sudeki, definitely worth a look. You can get it on PC and Steam if you are not a console or have it on the Xbox. Next up, I got from one of the ones from Cash Converters is Nightcaster. Now, I don't know much about this. I know there is a sequel, but from what I was looking at, it's not an RPG game, but it's sort of like your top-down sort of Diablo style looking where you aim and you attack. So it looks like it's sort of one of those ones in a dungeon crawler. As I said, look, they were all cheap. They were like around $5, and honestly, the ones at the Cash Converters, they were actually in really good nick. So I wasn't going to sort of complain about it. There's obviously just a few scuffs, but hey, what can you do when games are like 10, 20 years old? But this one looks alright. Don't know if I'll give it a go or not, but it looks very much like a very good fantasy game. Next up is a game, I remember hearing about this and they talked the shit out of this game. They were like, this is just after obviously Halo had come out and everybody's trying to get a piece of the market in the first person shooters on the consoles. And this was Pariah. Now Pariah, however you want to say it, I remember just reading about it and they were talking it up, like all of this was, I can't obviously remember specifically, but it was like, oh, this is destructible, this can happen, the terrain can change, this can happen depending on what, and it just did not live up to any of that hype. But I saw it and, I mean, look, the official Australian Xbox magazine gave it an elite, so it can't be that bad. It says on the back here, Digital Extremes is back with an ultra-realistic combat game boasting awesome graphics and exceptional physics engine. So, yeah, I'll probably give this one a go. I remember I pirated this game back in the day on the PC and I sort of played it and I'm like, this is not what they promised, and I just sort of, threw the disc away and whatnot. Next up, WWF, now known as WWE Raw. This was Xbox's own brand because obviously back in the old sort of PlayStation 2, Xbox and Gamecube days, SmackDown and SmackDown vs. Raw and Here Comes the Pain, all that, they were all exclusive to the PlayStation. So obviously Xbox and Gamecube needed to bring out their own games. And to their credit, they actually did bring out quite a few really good games. Raw was not one of them, from what I understand, or from what I remember. The graphics and everything are fantastic. I think they did an actual really good job on the moves and whatnot, but the story just wasn't there, and that's sort of half of what wrestling's all about. You got your action and then you got your drama. But I'll chuck it in and I'll have a go and we'll see, because as I've said on previous ones, let's get all these old ones because they've got some people on there that are never going to be there again. Next one, never really got into this series, the Abe's Oddysee, Oddworld Munch's Oddysee, this one. Now, obviously these are fun games, platform games, just goofy games. This one's actually a 3D game, so yeah, let's have some fun with this one. Not sure I'll play it, but as I said, it was one of the ones from your Cash Converters and it was in good nick. So yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. Next up is one that I think I might play today, and it is 007 Bond, James Bond, in Nightfire. Typical first-person James Bond shooting game, womanizing, blah blah blah, just a typical James Bond style movie. So it wasn't actually based off of a movie. But obviously with the success of GoldenEye and whatnot, everybody was trying to jump on, and this is when EA sort of took over. I think they had one game prior to this, and this was it. From what I read, it's a fine sort of first person shooter game. It makes you feel like it's in Bond. It's only like 12 chapters long, which it says here 12 action packed long. But yeah, it actually looks pretty cool. I'll definitely give this one a look out. Next up is one that just on the podcasts, on the IGN Xbox podcast, on Podcast Unlocked. They joke about this game all the time, and I haven't seen it, I haven't played it, and it's Voodoo Vince. Don't know anything about it. They joke around that Voodoo Vince should actually be like a mascot of the Xbox and whatnot. So it looks like a goofy game, and it looks like it could be a bit of fun. As I said, I've never played it, so come on, let's see. And I talked about this game last week because I got the first one, but I actually got this one, Burnout III. Now I had a lot of fun with this back in the day. Just the graphics and whatnot were amazing. I think this one actually came out on Xbox 360 as well, so I might sort of keep my eye out on that one. But even for it being on the Xbox, it was good. I think it actually ran, and I'm not a word of a lie, I think this actually ran at 60 frames per second on the original Xbox, so that was pretty good. I just remember playing it, and just when you actually crashed into the side, just all the sparks come up. Like back in that day, they looked phenomenal. So it looks really, really cool. And this one takes me back a bit of nostalgic. Back in when I was younger, I used to be into Transformers and Voltrons and whatnot. And of course, that was not complete without Robotech. And Robotech Battlecry, I've never played it. It's a cel-shaded game. And look, this is really just for nostalgic purposes. I hope it's really cool. I remember I actually had one of the big Robotech aeroplanes back in the day when I was like in prep or grade 1. And I thought for sure it's got to be able to transform, doesn't it? And I tried everything and this thing would not transform. I really just don't think that it was supposed to transform. I just always ask my dad, I think you've got to get the screwdriver and then do this and blah, blah, blah. And he never did it, so I'm kind of thinking that you weren't supposed to, so that's why I didn't do it. But Macross City, brings back the memories. But it actually looks pretty cool. It looks like, if you look at the way that they did the Platinum did the recent Transformers game, it actually looks a lot like that. So there could very well be a bit of life imitating art. Next up, this one's a real classic. I've already got the HD version of it, but never had it on here. This is Beyond Good and Evil. Now, this is a very highly acclaimed game, but that didn't sell very well. My time that I've actually had with this game, playing it on the PC and the HD remake on the Xbox 360, it's a fantastic game, and it irks me to hell that they're still teasing. Ubisoft's still saying that the number 2's not coming. Number 2's coming, and there's been a lot of leaks and whatnot. But if there's any game that I'm probably going to get into, it's going to be back into this one. It's got a lot of different mechanics in it. It's got your fighting mechanics, which is really, really good. You've got your actual photo mode where you've got to take photos of things to earn money. You got your boats and your driving and your chasing. So it's actually a really complete game. It's really cool. I was really happy to get that at the price I did. And the last one, another one of those nostalgic ones. The other week where I was talking about the herbs, this was another game that I used to play with my wife, and it is Grabbed by the Ghoulies. I actually think that I bought this when I bought Sudeki. I think I did, yeah. I've actually got this on the Rare Replay collection, but just have the original collection one. As I said, it was in good nick. So it's always good to have these originals. I don't understand it. But yeah, look, Grabbed by the Ghoulies, funny game. Obviously, rare humour, Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong, those sorts of games, Conker. It wasn't one of their more sort of popular ones, but I had fun with it because my wife we used to sit down and play it, and she'd have a bit of a laugh with it. But that's all it for this week, guys. As I said, look, yeah, it was a bit of a big haul this week. Also, I did get Forza Horizon 3 digitally just because you got a bit more bang for your buck on that. So I'll probably be on the lookout for that in about a year or so just to get the disc copy because there was a few exclusives there on the digital, plus you got the season pass and everything, so worked out well. But that's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you've got any comments or any memories that you want to share about the games that I bought today, please feel free to leave comments below and have yourself a fantastic weekend. Or even just let me also know what games you are playing this week. And we'll catch up. Thanks, guys. Bye. And don't forget, if you guys do like what you see here, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to share down below. I did end up getting a top of the range Sony, not Sony,